News spread throughout LA. Anxiety for family and friends ramped up. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. Many of you have seen the video clips of cars burning on cable news. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated, full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. With that, that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. We honor their bravery, but we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation. Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles, well beyond his stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point. California will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting on behalf of our people, all of our people, including in the courts. Just yesterday, we filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. And by the way, Trump, he's not opposed to lawlessness and violence as long as it serves him. What more evidence do we need than January 6th? Ask everyone. Take time, reflect on this perilous moment. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution, perpetuating a unified assault on American traditions. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's declared a war on culture, on history, on science, on knowledge itself. Databases quite literally are vanishing. He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, at threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society. He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday, he's ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past. Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches of independent government.
You're listening to live comments from Governor Gavin Newsom here on LAist 89.3. Julia Paskin with you. Governor Newsom is speaking in response to the ICE raids here in Los Angeles and to the federalization of the National Guards and the deployment of the Marines to the area. Back now to Governor Gavin Newsom.
All of us other states are next. Justice Brandeis is, he said it best, in a democracy is the most important office before our eyes. This moment is not the presidency has arrived. It's certainly not governor. He's taking a wrecking, the most important office, a wrecking ball to office of founding fathers. At this moment, we all need to stand up and be held to account, a higher level of accountability. If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please do it peacefully. I know many of you are feeling deep anxiety, stress, and fear, but I want you to know that you are the antidote to that fear and that anxiety. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him.
Let's just take a step back. Let's just take a step back and calm down and understand that most people here in America just want a better life. They just want to do better for themselves and their family. That's why they came here, for the American dream. They didn't come here to kick up dust and make a fuss. Okay? That's what we got to understand. Let's start with that. Let's start with a little humanity. Let's start with a little empathy. Let's start with justice, a love and a desire for justice. What happened to that? Because this country was built on immigration. Just because you don't have the paperwork to be here doesn't mean you don't deserve to be here. Most of the people that these protesters are speaking up on behalf of are not gangsters, are not criminals. They're family. They're workers. They're people that are the fabric of this society, of this economy. People who just want to go, make some money, and come home. Give their children a better education. Give their children a chance to get better jobs and make money. That's why they're here. That's why most of us are here in America, is to have a better life. It's just that simple. This country was built on immigrants. This country was built on diversity. And don't get too high and mighty and think that this can't happen to you too. Yeah, just because the government is targeting a group of people right now, don't think it can't happen to you. Because if you can sit back and watch this and allow this to happen, shame on you. Shame on you. Who are you to be so comfortable? Who are you to be so comfortable to think that, oh, life is good, I don't have to worry about that? Who are you? You should love justice. You should want to do justice. You should want to do what's right and speak up on behalf of those that can't speak for themselves. Yeah, that's the American way. Everybody talking about what's patriotic. That's patriotic. That's the American way. Actually, these protests, this is actually the most American thing you can do. Is fight for your right. It's to speak up for yourself when wrong is happening, when injustice is happening. I mean, damn, all these damn superhero movies coming out, and we can't see a villain when they show up. Come on, man. This is evil. This is evil. Who are you to sit back and say, I'm okay with that? That's them over there. You part of the problem. You the villain in the story. You on the wrong side of history. For all y'all that love Superman, Batman, Ant-Man, all the mans, for y'all that love a cape and a symbol, you should recognize evil when it's happening. This is wrong. This is wrong. And if you don't think it can happen to you, you're not paying attention. I mean, this is American history. It's always going to be somebody that's exploited. It's always going to be somebody exploited. It happened to my ancestors. We were brought over here illegally. We didn't have any paperwork. We didn't have a name. We didn't have a religion. We didn't have a family. Our families were broken up. They did it to us. And they doing it again. Families being torn apart. For what? For what? I mean, really? For what? We got to do better. We got to do better. But that was the governor speaking on and really changing the narrative. I thought it was an interesting take on what's going on right now, because he's basically blaming all the violence and all the uproar on Trump, sending troops to California. Newsom is saying, hey, we got this. We can handle this. You know, we don't need your help. You know, all you're doing is kicking up dust and making a fuss. We don't need that. We got this. He's speaking to the peaceful protesters. Hey, y'all, keep speaking up, using your First Amendment rights. He's actually trying to ingratiate himself on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? Which, hey, we're gonna see how that plays out. But I'm for it. I like that. I like that he's at least trying to be on the right side of history and speaking up. Now, he also said those that are breaking the law and being criminals, y'all are gonna be dealt with. Okay? But hey, we've seen this before. Black Lives Matter. Now, I ain't gonna say if I was or if I wasn't around for those movements, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And sometimes, I mean, damn, this is actually the most American thing you can do is speak up and protest. Hello? No taxation without representation. I mean, how many times have we heard that story? So when something wrong is being done to you and yours, hey, it's time for us to get together and speak up and speak out against it. And you see what happens when we come together. Change happens. Period.